The mistress sends a message. She says she's doing another Patreon request.
But mockingly telling her that is my job.
Oh yeah, she also told me to mock you profusely because she beat you to it this time, so mock, 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 mock. Stupid head.
She's my nemesis, you know.
If she says so.
Hey, really, you must see it. I hurt her in such devious ways, via the medium of monetary donations and other people's film choices. Then she hurts me back.
I thought nemesis meant that she stalked you in Raccoon City.
Not quite, no. Then again, I've had an idea. I do have a film about some rivals who end up coming head to head in a fit of fantastic violence.
That's called Mortal Kombat, and no one's requested it. I saw the list.
I'm starting to see why the mistress kills you people off as much as she does.
You people?
You know what's awesome? Me.
Hey, mistress, here's your latest request. It's Freddy versus Jason.
Here? Where is here?
Oh, I don't have it here. I sent it via drone. You should receive it in about 3, 2, 1, 1.
Oh! Ask a stupid question. Receive a stupid movie.
Enjoy.
I think I need to teach her a lesson and something much more exciting than that micro-explosive I replaced her appendix with. I'm sure I'll work something out. Greetings, gentle viewers!
What can you say about Freddy vs. Jason? Well, you could say that Freddy vs. Jason is where you go when you admit to yourself that you've exhausted all possibilities. Or that Freddy could get raped in prison. That could happen in my movie. No, wait, that was the guy who made Batman vs. Superman. If you don't know what this is, then I have to wonder why you're watching this. But just in case you like my show and have a very particular form of amnesia, Freddy vs. Jason was the resurrection of a very old concept. Take popular horror characters who the marketing people think have grown stale and bash them together like a kid with action figures. Or me with my enemies in the form of action figures. Seems fair to start this review with an overview of how I feel about the preceding films, just in case you're foolish and give a fuck about that. Excellent film, very gay, but apart from that not great. Much improved, bad again, still bad. He bashed Johnny Depp in the face with a frying pan. This one's pretty cool, but Wes Craven can't fucking act. As for the others, excellent, still good. I love the heady teen drama and wanted Jason to stop killing people. Hey, Crispin Glover! What the fuck, isn't Jason a zombie yet? Oh, guess he is. This one's a blur, but Kane Hodder's in it. Many things were taken, but regretfully not Manhattan. I can think of at least 2 things wrong with that title. This one fucking rules, and I will fight you on that. Now on to the unnecessary remakes, because someone will give a crap about that. Excellent recasting for Freddy, and I liked it, when it looked like they were doing something different and having Freddy be innocent and out for revenge. And holy fuck, they did a Friday the 13th remake. And Nana Visitor plays Mrs. Voorhees. 90 minutes of Nana Visitor killing teenagers by a lake. I am so in.
Excuse me?
Jason was my son. You should have been watching him. Every minute.
I burned an orphanage. They shouldn't have to live in a world that would do that to Nana Visitor.
In a way, not quite so New Line Anymore Cinema presents Fred, chase. And we see what alien shit Willie got up to after they cancelled V. Burning dolls, mostly. Yeah, pretty much the same thing Robert Englund's been doing. Nah, this is Freddy.
He's the one who's not Jason.
My reign of terror was legendary.
So legendary, he got older every time someone retold the story.
Then the parents of Springwood came for me.
And their flames somehow turned my skin into latex.
But after they killed me, I became something much, much worse.
A nearly living meme.
The stuff nightmares are made of.
I do not stand corrected.
Anyway, Freddy's a child killer, and the parents of his victims took the law into their own hands and burned him to death. Seems like a simple job, just stand outside his place quietly, don't bother trying to save the kid he just kidnapped, and throw your Molotov over your shoulder like a fucking amateur. But it was a big undertaking, just keeping all the people that the earlier film said were there out of this shot took a bunch of planning. I'm wondering about the point of this sequence. Literally, the only people who would watch this without knowing both the franchises it's uniting are A, very bad film reviewers who have to watch it whether it makes sense or not, B, people who don't give a fuck and will watch anything, or C, really unlucky people.
And I should know I'm at least two of those things.
The children still feared me, and their fear gave me the power to invade their dreams.
I applaud their bravery in showing us some better films than theirs, along with some worse ones. But still, it's a good bet that you'll win over the audience by killing off Johnny Depp. Anyway, Freddy's got a problem. He gets his supernatural powers from fear, but people have forgotten him.
For being forgotten! Now that's a bitch!
Freddy, here's an idea. Maybe you shouldn't have spent 7 films killing everyone who's afraid of you.
I love how the explanation of how he's lost his powers due to being forgotten plays were shots and getting his face kicked in. I can't speak for anyone else, but the last time I beat the shit out of a dream demon, I remembered it. He was called Aldice, he was an incubus, and he wouldn't take no for an answer. So to make the people of the town remember him, and therefore fear him, he decides to enlist Jason, an equally dead serial killer, who looks and acts nothing like him and has a totally different MO, and then resurrect him to kill the living. Which will make people remember and fear him, even though there's no reason for people to connect him with Jason's killing.
Everybody got that?
And if he can resurrect Jason, then why can't he resurrect himself? They're both equally dead. Hell, if anything, Jason's more dead, at least. Freddy only died once. Anyway, table set, it's time for an hors d'oeuvre of nudity. This is less than 3 minutes in. That's impressive for Schizophreniac's second sequel. This is Jason's Afterlife, a recreation of his old stomping grounds, where he can kill to his heart's content. Apparently, after about 150 murders, the rulers of hell get really scared and just give you what you want. Either that, or he got sentenced to play his own video games.
Oh, thank fuck. For a second there, I was afraid Jason got wood.
Oh, maybe it was right after all.
I deserve to be punished.
We all deserve to be punished.
Does this count as a retroactive orgy? But what kind of orgy ends with your mum walking in?
Jason, my special boy.
An incomplete one, based on the look on her face. Mrs. Voorhees has aged about 30 years since she died. They recast her with someone about 30 years older than she was when she died. And weirdest of all, she changed her fucking jumper. Yeah, this is Freddy in disguise, and he did about as much research as the dudes made a film called Freddy vs. Jason. Anyway, with a few words of encouragement.
I need you to go to Elm Street. The children have been very bad on Elm Street. Rise up, Jason!
Rise! Yes, rise! Rise! Rise!
Jason's back up to his old tracks. Being giant, not saying anything, and killing people with anything but finger blades. In short, everything that'll get him mistaken for Freddy Krueger. Assuming the population of the town are dumb enough to star in a slasher movie. And based on that grin, they might be. Oh yeah, New Line Cinema. Nice of them to have that ident ready if Peter Jackson decides to do a 16-hour trilogy based on the new Shadow. J.R.R. Tolkien's thriller Lord of the Rings sequel that he decided to stop writing about a dozen pages in. Jason's out walking to Elm Street and somehow not being noticed, seeing as he's managing about 3 feet an hour. And Camp Crystal Lake was in New Jersey and Elm Street's in Ohio. Anyway, time to meet our deep and varied cast of characters who will only be remembered by how funny their deaths are.
Marry, fuck, or kill. Your choices are the Three Stooges. Go, Kia.
Who the fuck are the Three Stooges? Now the Marx Brothers, they were hot. Especially Carl.
This is stupid, y'all.
Come on!
Oh, God, whatever. Look, I fucked the ball guy and I married Larry. Jesus.
She's been in the movie for 20 seconds and she already can't handle this white people bullshit. It's like it turned into a Wes Anderson film.
Hey, okay. I got another one. Fred, Scooby, or Shaggy?
I'm not answering that. Neither is she.
Very nice of this to continue the proud Friday the 13th tradition of developing characters that you not only don't care about, but want to see die as quickly as possible.
Unlike the entire population of 3 states, she somehow didn't miss Jason.
Of course, you know, this means war.
Some more assholes have arrived to be annoying, and that's about it. Be annoying and then die.
Hey, Lori. I like the flow of your place.
Give it a while, the flow's gonna be epic.
Our lead is Laurie, probably named after Laurie Strode from Halloween. I can't really tell she's the final girl because she's basically the lead from The Final Girls, down to her dirty blonde hair, her dead mother, and her ability to attract assholes.
You know about feng shui?
The guy's a bit of a dick, but the second his feng is shuied, he's a dead man. So overall, I approve of this attempt to get laid. This other guy, though, is such a dick that his shirt will explode if it's ever allowed to get an erection.
Babe, make me ask you twice, okay?
In some ways, this film is really quite modern. You see, the girl dicks are just as noticeable as the boy dicks. You see, this dick wants to get with this dick.
Lori, am I gonna get that grand tour or what?
But this dick won't tell him that she's not interested.
Yeah. You know, why don't you start in the kitchen and get us some beers?
And this dick set the whole thing up by telling the first dick the second dick was interested in him.
Oh, you should see her bedroom. Great flow in there. Lori, why don't you go upstairs and show Blake your feng shui?
It's like a massive curved penis using its foreskin to swallow its own shaft. An eroderus, if you will.
This scene is almost literally going nowhere, so let's see what the other two are up to.
Yeah, fuck me, baby.
Well, it looks like he's just about up to her kidneys.
Exhibitionism! Fun for the whole household.
Inexplicably, instead of killing them both, Jason just watched, using his POV having eyes, and went off to hide. Whether wanking was involved, I'll leave to your imagination.
Babe, you know I don't like to be touched after, okay?
Fine, I'll go shower then.
Good. Your hair smells like menthols anyway.
Anyway, this guy is such a cunt that in the next scene we can see that even the blankets left him.
Well, that's a guy who's just lost all interest in pegging.
Wanna see a magic trick? Ta-da! I made his spine disappear! It's gone!
Hey! What the hell are you doing?
Based on all the blood, you should probably hope the answer was shaving, and he missed.
You kids need some assistance?
What the fuck do you think?
It's even the same damn house. 1428 Elm. It's gotta be him, right?
The local police assume the killer was Freddy Krueger. Now, that might seem stupid, but the sheriff is Optimus Primal, and the main deputy is Jake Busey if he was a model. So it is stupid. You see, even though Camp Crystal Lake was in New Jersey and Elm Street is in Ohio, for the purposes of this film, they're right next to each other. So these guys didn't just assume that this random murder was done by a local famous murdering dead man. They also didn't notice that his method of murder, machete and brute strength, is the MO of another local famous murdering dead man.
Ironically, you could replace Optimus Primal with an actual gorilla and it'd be just as good at solving this case.
Anyway, the sheriff's first plan is to keep things quiet, so to not remind everyone about Freddy. To do this, he speaks loudly in a crowded area about Freddy and how they should all keep quiet about him.
It's gotta be Freddy Krueger. Hey, don't even say that son of a bitch's name out loud.
Foolproof plans are hard to come by, son.
And then, when he gets to the station, he institutes part 2 of his plan. Keep talking loudly in a non-empty room about how no one should talk about Freddy.
I'm pretty sure we're good.
Pretty sure. You better make damn sure none of those kids knows anything or I'll send your ass up to Western Hills with them.
This is just fucking baffling. Why even assume that it's supernatural at all? Surely this town's dealt with murder before. I seem to recall that some decades ago they had a child killer called Teddy Krugmeister or something. Was he only able to kill so many kids because the local police were convinced they were being stolen by the fucking fairies? Anyway, enough about that. Time for her to use her narcolepsy powers and fall asleep for no reason. And enter Freddy's dream world for a bit of a reason, seeing as Optimus Primal was yelling about Freddy near her.
You had one non-Predacon related job, Primal. One!
There were some kids, and a man named Freddy, and he killed them all with much more than a punch. Now this group must somehow form a family, and that's how we all became the Hades Bunch. The Hades Bunch.
Oh shit! The twins from The Shining had relatives.
His name is Freddy Krueger, and he loves children, especially little girls.
Okay, Freddy Krueger movies, please. Either retcon him into being a teen killer, or just have his stockies in a film for once be fucking children. It'd be like the Monster Squad, but with a death count.
Oh, no, wait. Sorry, that's just it. And Stranger Things. Just do that!
It's okay to be afraid. We're all afraid.
3, 4, better use this chant once more. 5, 6, wanna beat the composer with sticks. 7, 8, the skipping I also hate. 9, 10, never be original again. 11, 12, nothing rhymes but delve. Which is pretty appropriate for this. Anyway, across town, one of the dicks is pissed off at the murder of who can loosely be described as his best friend.
My best friend was just killed, Dad! So how about giving me some fucking space?
I need some space to emote, Dad!
This scene is short, but amazing. It's like they can't decide whether to write him as a 9-year-old or a 70-year-old. Dad, get off my back. I'm going on a grizzled murder quest to avenge my best friend, god damn it!
Let me get him for you, Trey. I'm gonna take him out myself, Trey.
Better men than you have tried. Men like David Cronenberg. So that's what body horror feels like. Anyway, his most interesting scene done, it's now time for him to almost instantly fall asleep for no reason. Meet the greatest of all time.
Jesus.
No, a goat. And then lose a fight with some smoke. Luckily, won't have to live it down for long.
Dad.
Man, his dad's had a lot of blood in it. Over at the local psychiatric hospital, we have 2 more of the film's dicks, including this one shaped like Brian Flynn and the love child of Bert and Ernie.
After tonight's murder in this neighborhood of Springwood, Sheriff's Department has confirmed that there is one victim. Details on
turn
this
that out,
tragedy remain sketchy, but the sheriff...
It's like he just remembered that mental hospitals aren't known for their subscriptions to crime TV. Anyway, yes, a mental hospital. These 2 are survivors from a previous Freddy attack, and seeing as I don't recognize them from one of the films, I'm gonna guess they barely survived a Nightmare on Elm Street marathon. Seeing as this is a mental hospital, I briefly hope that they find an excuse to bring Michael Myers into this. But I looked it up and he was way too busy filming The Cat in the Hat.
It's okay though, he hurt more people that way.
Anyway, the black-haired dick used to date Laurie, but he's been locked up here since he had all that dramatic off-screen backstory that they love drip-feeding us.
You're the one that told the cops Laurie's dad killed his wife.
Yeah, right, and now it looks like someone else got killed in the same house. You think that's a coincidence? 2 murders in one house?
Probably depends if Roman Polanski owned it. Anyway, Birdie wants to escape and help Laurie, but Brian's scared. It's all perfectly reasonable in there. He's probably safe from most Paul Matthews films.
Look around you, man.
Look around you? Just look around you. Have you worked out what we're looking for? Correct. The answer is ghosts.
We're institutionalized.
Institutionalized apparently means pretty good at escaping because of a possibly accidentally racist bit of theatre. A drugging and some pickpocketing later, they have an escape plan.
What the hell is that for, man?
Because sudden vitiligo doesn't exist, it's not a good escape plan, but it's an escape plan.
A good enough escape plan, in a way. In the morning, we see that Laurie's dad is making her orange juice and filling it with drugs. Usual dad stuff.
I don't know what to do without you. You're all I have left.
Dad, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm sure you've got your nefarious reasons and all, but I'm not sure she needs to be more doped up. She seems just about high enough to cover the Mint 400.
We need to get you to...
Anyway, she goes to the one place where no one has ever slept before, school, and there she finds out about the other dick and his dad's full-body circumcisions.
Stabbed to death late last night. Same with his dad.
I'm impressed. Stabbing someone's head off is both one of the harder ways to stab someone and behead them.
This is bullshit. The police are blaming everything on Blake like it's some kind of Columbine thing or something. They're saying he went crazy. Killed Trey, killed his dad, and then took his own life.
Oh yes, that makes sense. The guy who was downstairs being annoying snuck upstairs, produced the machete that he snuck in via his ass, stabbed the guy, did the physically impossible, and folded him before hiding the machete up his ass again, somehow avoiding blood poisoning while doing so, and getting downstairs before he was messed. He then waited until the next night, reproduced the machete, stabbed his dad's head off, and then killed himself with the machete and hid it again.
Is Gary Busey helping out with the investigation?
This is so fucking messed up. This is messed up.
It's not messed up, it's dadaism masquerading as police work.
Lori?
What is it, Linderman?
Oh, fuck off, Miles Teller. Can't you see they're trying to act here? Anyway, elsewhere in the school we have Jay, his best friend, loquacious Bob, and currently silent Roberta. Jay and Bob are setting up a memorial rave in one of the dead guy's honor.
Which one? I do not care.
Anyway, because fucking anyone can just walk into this town unnoticed, Brian and Bertie have arrived in school. This is their hometown, their escape was publicised, the hospital was nearby, they stopped to buy clothing, all their friends go to this school, and they're able to organise this pincer movement.
Lori! Oh! Honestly, that was my reaction the first time I gave that any thought too.
Honestly, I'm guessing the entire police force are spending their time running headfirst into walls to try and come up with exciting new ways to fail at their jobs, which, given what police in America usually do, might be a good thing on balance. Anyway, Laurie's taken to the nurse while her friends wait in reception. This dick, Kia, checks out some very interesting porn and does a run-in with Destiny's child killer.
Got your nose!
Okay, so one of the cast is out cold, but he goes after her. Her, who wasn't acting tired and never mentioned being tired. What's the point in trying to stay awake if Freddy's powers now include viral narcolepsy? Anyway, the police eventually caught up with Bertie and Brian. Now, I'm thinking the police caught them on their way into town, but operate in the same rules as It Follows. Pity they have to find someone, other than each other, to have sex with to test my theory. Anyway, they're now hiding out in the library, checking through old papers and finding obvious evidence of a conspiracy.
This doesn't make any sense. There's nothing on Kruger. Not his arrest, his death, not even a birth certificate. Whole sections of the records are gone.
And this obvious evidence of not knowing how time works.
January 18th. That's the day my brother committed suicide. Why isn't that in here?
Because things get reported on after they happen.
Anyway, after all this talking loudly in public, wandering around in daylight, and stealing/buying clothes, they're bored with regular, everyday hiding, so either buy or steal the most distinctive van in town, with an interior light that's so bright they can see from 3 states over.
Which is fine by me, because that's where Jason usually lives.
The horror crossover gets briefly even more intense at the rave, with the reanimation fluid glow sticks in the cornfield location. Freddy versus Jason versus Reanimator versus He Walks Behind the Rose.
Friday the 13th musical sting sounds like a slowed down laughing fox.
All in all, it's a civilized party. You can tell because the second they see Miles Teller, they water beer him. Anyway, with about a third of Laurie's group of dicks dead, Teller figures he should audition to replace one of them by getting into an insult match with Kia.
Linderman, you know, I always pictured you as a straight-up bedwetter.
You know what, Kia? See, you tear me down to make yourself feel better because you really hate yourself, which is kind of pathetic when you actually stop and think about it, assuming, of course, you can think, with all that makeup weighing down your head.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup!
You know, one of the paradoxes of great cinema is that its truth created out of lies. Now, this is not great cinema, but I think that explains this clip.
I am the master of the clit.
Bong. Nong, 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 nong.
Snoochie boochies.
Is it true that chicks fart if you blast them in the ass?
Gib, the red cap, red shirt with the red cup, walks into the corner alone and gets herself menaced by he who talks shit behind the rose. Her boyfriend, Trey, the biggest dick of them all. Figurative, not literal.
I'm dead one day and you're already out getting shit-faced? Come on, let's go.
Just her luck. She met the only person who became more abusive after they died.
Hey! Don't make me ask you twice, okay? Now!
So magic narcolepsy or not, she managed to fall asleep mid-stride in the middle of a party with loud annoying music blaring. It's about time she had a reason to be memorable, other than a couple of much better films and their shitty prequel. You could probably make the argument that her just walking to this place was legally suicide.
Hey?
You know, if you say gullible really slowly, it sounds like ginger.
And ginger snaps. So it turns out that she survived that minor plummet. Hey, the silo looks like a much better location for the rave. The theming is on point, and the hellish, non-Euclidean, never-ending interior would make for some sick acoustics.
You know, the people in these films dream about industrial hellscapes a lot.
Anyway, it's about to get even worse, because in the real world, the well-named punk rocker Billy Pariah is sinking to a new low. Freddy might be a scrotum-faced monster, but he apparently draws the line at xenomorph bukkake. No, this is Jason doing his thing.
She's mine!
Anyway, this guy is like Susan Boyle and Dynamo from The Running Man at a kid. Musically inclined, but not the best person when faced with 7 feet of decaying murder flesh. He insults it.
Why don't you go find yourself a pig to fuck? Son of a bitch.
Then surprise Pikachu meme, and finally come up with an innovative approach to making popcorn. But he was fire shanked. I kinda wanted to see him get beaten Jack Black and Blue. You gotta love the guys who, when faced with 7 feet of flaming murder, and their first and probably only thought is, I could take that guy. Liquid courage has never been so literal.
Friday the 13th, part 8.888, repeating. Jason takes a kegger.
Okay, so most of the leads and the people who think they're leads are bundled together in the van. Naturally, the first order of business, while being stalked by a dream monster, and having just seen a flaming behemoth kill a bunch of your friends, is to instantly split up again.
Look, call me later, okay?
I have to go get murdered. I figure it's probably my turn. Anyway, it turns out that Birdie was sent to the mental hospital, not because of Freddy, but because he thought this was a Clarissa Explains It All sequel, and then saw her dad murder her mom.
I assume the knife, being filled with orange juice and drugs, might have been a clue.
Get out of the van. Get out of the van!
What are you doing?
Where were you? I've been looking all over for you.
After some moderate strangling to prove that he's not the bad guy, Laurie and her dad have a heart-to-heart.
Did Mom die in a car accident?
Yes, of course she did.
Prove it.
Dig up her body and show me it. So it turns out that he works at the mental hospital and had Birdie committed. That, his violence, his general air of nefarious Jordan Peterson-iness, and the fact that he carries sedatives with him at all times...
Why don't I give you some pills and that'll help you sleep, and then we'll talk about it in the morning.
Kinda gives her a reason or 12 not to trust him.
Go away!
Laurie!
And literally shoulder charging the door off its hinges is unlikely to convince her to come back. Anyway, after that pointless diversion, they end up back in the van.
You can't trust the police.
You can trust Genesis, though, but only before Phil Collins took over.
So across town, Brian's being paranoid, sleep-deprived, and freaking out. Pretty standard for him, at least when I see him. Is this his family's place and the cops haven't checked it out? Or has he rented it with no money? And which of these explanations is more embarrassing? Anyway, he's the American film brain, and apparently the film on his brain is a twink mirror on Elm Street.
Hey, Mark. You didn't forget about me, did you?
Somebody please wake me up!
How the hell does a guy look more like film brain the more he's suffering? I mean, other than being film brain. Oh, I've not seen Brian get burned like that since he was last scripted by Doug Walker.
Pass on a little message for me, will you?
Pretty sure that's Mr. Flim's back.
So Optimus Primal got a nice buzz going, putting crime scene photos in drawers and smoking on the job. But then Jake Busey, if he was a model, comes in and ruins it with some actual police work.
With all due respect, Sheriff, I think we have a copycat of the old Jason Voorhees Crystal Lake Killer on our hands.
You listen to me. We do things around here a certain way for a reason.
Listen, it's clearly this long-dead serial killer and not this other long-dead serial killer. And if you don't start sucking at your job, I will smack you so hard your highlights will be lowlights. Which they already kind of are. Cut them off for fuck's sake. You look like Cheetor took a dump on your head.
Yes, sir.
So Deputy Jake Busey does the obvious thing and just wanders around until he finds the gang's ultra-distinctive van.
Nothing personal, but the Scooby van out back wasn't exactly subtle. I'm here to help you.
It's a family name.
Now, this Jason Voorhees supposedly drowned at Camp Crystal Lake back in 1957 when he was 11 years old. The counselors weren't watching him. Then they made the mistake of killing his mother. I think we're dealing with a copycat here.
No, he's not a copycat. I've seen what he can do. He's the real Jason.
That's impossible, Linderman. Jason is dead.
Dude, anything is possible if you're high enough. Snoogans. You know, it's not the best sign when all your exposition is putting someone to sleep, and going to sleep is fatal. Anyway, Freddy sexually assaults Laurie while disguised as her dad. Just in case we missed that he's needlessly evil.
Give Daddy a kiss.
Her dad. Freddy's only needlessly evil when he's rapping.
So my advice to you is to stay ready, cause you know who's back? Freddy.
I'm your boyfriend now, Laurie. Because we're still about 30 minutes from the end and she has some more friends to lose, Freddy figures it would be unsporting to kill her now, but lets her take a trophy. His maggot collection. Seriously, turning to them just raises so many questions with many more disappointing answers. Oh yes, very good. Kill them quickly before they possibly turn into flies and buzz at you in a few weeks.
I pulled that out of my dream.
Try dreaming an original plot development and pulling that out next time.
How is that possible? Anything is possible now. God, you just don't get it.
Like it is possible that I'm an original character. Do not steal. Snoogans, dude. Snoogans. Having worked out the same lesson that a number of mostly doomed groups in these films have learned before, they head to the mental hospital because the patients in there are kept from dreaming.
At Weston, Mark and I never had dreams.
Alas, it's not because a random person yelling, "Eyes in the dark, one moon circles," over and over again, but drugs.
Nothing gets you high like drugs.
Good to see they didn't deactivate the stolen card. The town's governmental winning streak continues.
Hey, should we maybe deactivate that card that the patients stole when they escaped?
What they gonna do? Come back? They came back, didn't they?
Yeah.
We're so fired, aren't we?
Yeah.
In the blinking light storage room, Jay, in this film he's also going by Freeberg, decides to stop and take some drugs.
Just take a little J-break, huh? No, man, he's a clown.
Because unless he's breaking as many laws as he possibly can at that particular moment, he just can't get a good buzz going.
Oh, that's better.
Raoul Duke had the same problem. / superpower.
These are the ones who wouldn't stop dreaming.
They wouldn't stop dreaming, so we made them sleep forever. Apparently dreamlessly somehow, because Freddy's not killed them. And how fucking expensive is this project? They probably wasted the town's whole budget on this shit and they pay for the rest by selling tickets.
Says they were given too much Hypnosil.
Really? That's weird, because earlier you said Hypnosil suppresses dreams.
But there's something called Hypnosil. Hypnosil. Experimental drug used for suppression of dreams.
If it's also a sleeping pill, then an overdose should have resulted in this program needing a much smaller budget, because of all the death and stuff. So how is Freeberg /J / the worst thing to happen to that kind of hat until Tim Pool doing? Oh, the usual, smoking with a caterpillar and hanging out with the coma patients. Unless the film took a hard turn to the interesting, it looks like he fell asleep mid-smoke.
With emphasis on the fell.
It's like all the characters have an idiocy standby button that gets pressed and the script needs someone to die. Anyway, I think we can all agree that he's a great loss to the art of dick sucking. I mean, look at that. He could unhinge his jaw and swallow a fully grown Chris Crocker. And he's possessed. You can tell because he's doing all his acting in Kubrick stares. Luckily, Jason inexplicably arrived to kick ass and electrocute people. And there's no asses in kicking distance.
You see, this is why I don't like Jason as much as like Chucky or Pinhead. He's just too grounded.
So Freddy Berg has a plan that he sure can't fail any more than the thousands of ways people have tried to kill Jason over the years. A staring contest.
Let me handle this, bitch. Come to Freddy.
And naturally, being that one of them is a supervillain and the other is unaware of the rules, there is some cheating.
Kill him again! Freeberg! Freeberg! Freeberg!
Oh.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard.
Goodbye, Freeberg. I'm gonna come inside of you. Goodbye, Freeberg. I'm gonna come inside of you. Goodbye, Freeberg. I'm gonna come inside of you. Goodbye, Freeberg. You're dead, dead. I'm coming inside of you.
I mean, it was amazing when they offered this and I went and I played Freeberg and it was like a lifelong dream come. Wait, I didn't play Freeberg. I wasn't in that movie.
Fuck you! Jeez. My special boy.
So the stage is set for an anticlimactic fight. Either that or another rave. Hope it's the latter because Jason's mum already started.
You are like a big super dog who can't stop eating!
Wrong kind of rave though.
Even though your master said you've had enough!
You know, Robert Englund's really turned up the Ivan Ooze this time.
Welcome to my nightmare.
Welcome to my nightmare!
Ready for your thoughts, Chief.
It's an inflation joke. Because he's getting dumber.
Why won't you die?
Said by one dead person to another that he knows can't speak.
Okay, so which of these fucks has the sartorial elegance to dream a theatrical lighting change? And apparently Jason, a guy who famously spent much of a movie on a boat when he was supposed to be taking Manhattan, is actually so horrified by water that he regressed into a fetus.
Let's see what really scares you.
Like most people in 2003, Jason was apparently terrified by shit CGI.
I'm not sure why the films decided to be all sympathetic to Jason. I mean, sure, he doesn't really understand what he's doing, but he's also killed more people than John Wick in his first movie.
I know that doesn't sound very impressive, but John Wick killed a lot of people in his first movie.
Laurie goes to sleep with the aim of dragging Freddy out of her dreams so Jason can fight him on his home turf, Camp Crystal Lake. They're keeping Jason tranked for the journey, but I don't care what the film thinks. Camp Crystal Lake is still in New Jersey, and the tranquilizers only work on Jason for a few minutes. So this van should be full of tranquilizers, and most of these fucks should be riding on the roof. Like I said before, I'm really not sure why everyone's rooting for Jason. Yes, Freddy's a child killer, but Jason's a much more people than Freddy killer. Even with the main characters, yeah, Freddy stalked them, but he only killed one. Well, Jason's killed more than one. Maybe they're just really big bad movie beat-off fans, or just really want a night's sleep. Anyway, Laurie's mission goes well. Freddy laughs at her and instantly goes back to torturing Jason.
Y'all, something's wrong. It's like he's drowning or something.
We need him alive! Dude, what do you want me to do? Like, give him mouth to mouth or something?
Not sure that will help with the spontaneous generation of water in his lungs.
Why are you... No, I'm not gonna do that, no!
See, look, I would do it myself.
But it's 2003 and Friday the 13th's not ready for its Nightmare on Elm Street 2 yet. But that's a moot point, because just the possibility of going rat hole to rat hole with any of these people terrifies Jason into waking up, which just makes Freddy go Super Saiyan.
No, stop it, Goku! If you do this now, it's going to drain away all the time you have left on Earth!
What's wrong, Rory? Miss your wake-up call.
Wake me up!
Before you go, don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo.
Looks like she just realized she lives in the house from Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, roof sign. Just in case you went to the toilet 30 seconds earlier and missed the last sign.
Guys, look!
Anyway, it turns out that Laurie's dad isn't evil. He's just verbally abusive, assaults random people, and tries to drug her at the drop of a hat. But at least he didn't kill her mum.
It was you!
I've always had a thing for the whores that live in this house.
6 creased sadist.
It's him, he's here.
Of course he is. He was fired into the camp like a fucking missile when the van crashed. Oh, yeah, the van crashed. I probably would have mentioned it if someone died.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Verb, noun, bitch. It's like a verbal garnish.
I should warn you, princess. The first time tends to get a little messy.
Because nerve endings are very weird indeed, Laurie's been sliced and had some degree of claw raping.
Grab life by the clitoris.
But only wakes up when she gets burned, distracting Jason from his latest murders with the start of the finale. Oh, I think we can do better than that. Any suggestions, Crispin Glover?
Not tonight, no way!
Oh, good choice.
'Cause you can't fake it anymore. I know what you're waiting for. I should turn away and walk right out that door because I know.
Hey, how come you turned that off?
YouTube bots, dude. YouTube bots. Anyway, for reasons that I don't think I'm meant to understand, Freddy stopped hunting Laurie, the one he wants to kill most, and her probable boyfriend, when they're freed from an escape boat and instead goes to kill someone he doesn't give a fuck about.
Freddy!
Honestly, I'm guessing it's professional pride because she's the token black character and he forgot to kill her first.
How sweet. Dark meat.
So you're the one everyone's afraid of?
You met him before, you played Got Your Nose with him and lost. It's so nice that you can stop the finale for a breather and a reminder that while Freddy might be a murderous, abusive, racist, misogynistic sexual predator, he is a dickhead.
What kind of faggot runs around in a Christmas sweater?
This ball smacked high and deep to center field. It is long.
Jason Voorhees as you've never seen him before. Dodging. Freddy Krueger as you've never seen him before, getting the shit kicked out of him by Jason. Of course, as often happens when you're distracted by a final climactic battle with your newly found arch nemesis, the little people sneak up and cover the jetty you're fighting on in all sorts of flammable shit.
Go to hell!
We burn propane accessories, and undead serial killers.
Yep.
Yep.
After a bit of irony, a quicker bit of irony,
Welcome to my world, bitch!
and Jason getting over his fears, we're left wondering when only parts of the jetty are on fire, and it's over.
Aw, he's laughing like he's gonna be back for a sequel. I just made myself sad.
So, This is fine, it's not the best, it's not the worst, and the script is fairly dumb. It's a middle-of-the-road slasher film with a fantastic concept. It made a fuckload of money, so why they didn't do the planned sequel with Ash is a mystery to me. And then choosing to reboot both franchises right when they made more money than they had in years just makes it an even more complicated mystery. Out of the 80s slasher franchises, my favourite is Child's Play, exactly because it's never had a hard reboot. Even though a remake was made, it's still chugging along, making low-budget slasher films and continuing its story, wildly reinventing itself every so often so no one gets bored. And isn't that better than one or two expensive remakes that the fans hate and quickly fade from memory?
That's a serious question. Answer it below. I'm the Amanda Hawk, and I live with it every day.
Yeah, when I was doing the films, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Wait a minute. I wasn't in those movies. What the